Welcome to Credit Union One Arena on the campus of the University of Illinois at Chicago. It is the 2024 CPS Boys Basketball Championship game coming to you as part of the Game of the Week on the U. It's Kenwood against Curie. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jim Blaney, along with my Hall of Fame partner, Kenny McReynolds. And Kenny, Kenwood came so close last year. One more bucket would have done it. They lost in overtime to Simeon. They're back again this year to try and fix that. Yeah, no surprise they were preseason ranked #1. No surprise they're here again today. But let's face it, this Kenwood team has a lot of talent, but Curie's awfully good. Kenwood was ranked #1 in the preseason rankings, but it's been Curie who has been higher in the rankings for most of the season. They come into this game ranked #2 by Michael O'Brien of the Sun-Times. Well, it's such an even team. They remind me a lot of the old Simeon teams. You know, they're not fast, they're not flashy. It's good, solid, fundamental basketball. I really enjoyed watching them play on Thursday night. It was like watching Simeon play against Simeon. Let's take a look at our players to watch in the game that's coming up. The players to watch are brought to you by the U. And first of all, Kenny, for Kenwood, Alex Alston in the semifinals. He missed a triple-double by a point. Usually when guys miss a triple-double, they don't get an assist, they don't get a very rarely when you miss a triple-double, you miss it by a point. Yeah, you miss it by a point. This young man can really rebound, and he has such a great feel for the game. He's an outstanding passer to be a big man. Meanwhile, on the other side for Curie, Carlos Harris has just been one of their outstanding players for a long, long time, and he also coming in off a huge game in the semifinals. Yeah, and the semifinals, this young man going to play a lot of his basketball here at UIC. A big commitment for UIC. It's fundamentally sound. He doesn't try to do too much. He does what he needs to do to get the job done. Time now for our keys to the game, and the keys to the game are sponsored by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Kenny, let's talk about Kenwood first. What do they need to do to get that one more bucket to get over the hump? They have to win the battle of the rebounds. You have to limit the turnovers, and you know what? You have a couple of really big guys down there. Feed the big men. Curie already has some CPS championship trophies in their cabinet. What do they have to do to add one more at the end of the night? Play strong defense, of course, rebound well against the bigger Kenwood team, and get some baskets in transition. When we come back, we will introduce you to the starting lineups. We will get the opening tip, and we will get going in the CPS Boys title game. It's Kenwood and Curie coming up next on the Game of the Week on the U. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southern Illinois University. Imagine the possibilities. SIU Carbondale. And we're just a little bit away from Navy Pier and the lakefront. We're here at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Credit Union One Arena is the site for this year's CPS Boys title game as Curie takes on Kenwood. And time now for the starting lineups that we will see in tonight's game, Kenny, and a lot of familiar names from what we saw last year when Kenwood fell in that overtime game to Simeon. Yeah, and that was something else when they fell in overtime game to Simeon. But you can see Smith, Robinson, Riddle, they've been here before. They know what it takes to be in a championship game. And the starting lineup for Curie, and it's names that we have seen for a long, long time, and some really experienced players, especially the guys in the backcourt, Gonzalez and Harris. Well, Gonzalez played a great semifinal game. He was unbelievable. This young man can shoot. You have to guard him. He reminds me of a young Brandon Johnson. You know, if you get him open, he's going to really bury that shot, just like Brandon Johnson used to do when he was playing. Why is Kenny mentioning the mayor? Because the mayor has been kind enough to join us for this CPS title game. Mayor Brandon Johnson, City of Chicago mayor, joining us. And so this is just such a great example of the fabulous youth we have here in the city of Chicago. We saw a fabulous girls game as Whitney Young win their title. Now we get to see the best of the boys basketball. Yeah, it's a great night in Chicago. That varsity game between Kenwood girls and Whitney Young girls. What an incredible display of talent and teamwork. No, there was a frustrating loss for the Broncos, but both teams played very well. And tonight, it's an exciting night. I mean, I believe this is the game that most folks were anticipating all year. And to your point, Kenny, you have some strong veterans
representing Kenwood Broncos, and of course Curie, one of the top teams in the entire state. So this should be a fun operation tonight. And of course, as you said, it's a great display of the talent that we have in Chicago, and our Chicago public schools student athletes are just remarkable, and they represent our city all over the country once they leave Chicago. So
should be a lot of fun. And what I really like is that the lower bowl is full. That shows how much city basketball means to the city of Chicago.
It really does, and it shows also how much people actually care about our young people. As you know, this is a big part of my platform, investing in young people, creating opportunities for them to have summer jobs and year-round positions. We had almost 25,000 young people that had summer positions. Last summer, that was a 20% increase. I added an additional $76 million to the budget for 2024 so that we can get to almost 30,000 young people with jobs. Creating opportunities for our young people is the best thing that we can do as a city, and I'm committed to doing that as mayor, and looking forward to a great game tonight.
Should be a lot of fun.
And another great example of the outstanding youth here in the city of Chicago. We are about to get the presentation of the colors by the Hyde Park Color Guard. And then we are going to have the national anthem sung by Juliana McCoy of Peyton College Prep. But also, before we get going here tonight, there is going to be a moment of silence for our great friend and our compatriot Mark Kruger, who passed away last summer and was such an integral part of the CPS title game over the air. Let's go to the stadium address announcer.
Of Chicago Public League Boys Varsity Basketball Titans. And it features the Curie Condors versus the Kenwood Broncos. Fans, in August, we lost a long-time Illinois high school sports announcer for CW26 and the U, Mr. Mark Kruger. Most recently, Mr. Kruger was a sideline reporter for Weigel Broadcasting Company's statewide broadcast of the 2023 IHSA Boys and Girls State Final Tournaments. And at this time, we ask that you please join us in a moment of silence for the life and memory of Mr. Mark Kruger. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that the audience please rise in observance of our national anthem and in support of the troops that protect our country. If you can direct your attention to center court, the members of the Hyde Park Academy JROTC will be presenting our nation's flag and colors. And now to honor America with the singing of the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome Juliana Okaya.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. you there? Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
One more time for Juliana Wakaya.
A, that is one of the most difficult songs to sing in the world. B, it's especially difficult when you have no accompaniment and you are standing in the middle of a packed basketball arena.
Yeah.
Juliana with a marvelous job.
You talk about packed basketball arena. The upper deck is now open behind us, and we're going to have some kind of a crowd here.
It always seems like we get more people here in this game as it goes
As it
on.
goes on, yeah.
As the crowd picks up, and they are going to watch Curie comes into this game ranked number 2 by Michael O'Brien, take on number 13 Kenwood for the CPS title. And just a refresher for you old timers out there, it used to be that the winner of this game was the only team from CPS that went downstate. That changed a number of years ago, so this is not the final game of the season for the final game of the season for the loser. They get to play in the state playoffs. So basketball to come, but the CPS boys basketball title is the one that all these players around the city want to win, and it's time now for the starting lineups for today's game.
Introducing the Curie Condors. First, introducing the Kenwood Broncos. At forward, a senior number 0, Calvin Robbins. At forward, a junior 6'10", Alex Olsted. The man in the middle for the Broncos, a senior, 7 feet, number 1, Jaden Smith. The point guard, also a senior, number 5, B.J. Dooley. And the scoring guard, also a senior, number 10, Chris Riddle. The head coach of the Broncos is Mike Irvin. And now introducing the Curie Condors. At guard, he is a senior, number 1, Will Gonzalez. At guard, also a senior, number 5, Christian Crockett. At forward, also a senior, number 21, Tavion Collier. At guard, also a senior, number 30, Mason Minor. And the scoring guard, a senior, number 2, Carlos Harris III. The head coach of the Condors is Mike Oliver.
So if you believe that experience matters, this is your type of game. Out of these 2 starting lineups, 9 seniors, 1 junior. And in a year where we saw A lot of volatility in CPS basketball. We saw Lane Tech beat Whitney Young for the first time in who knows how long. Lindblom sprung a couple of surprises. There were people who felt CPS was down. I think it was just the talent was probably more spread out this year than any other year, but yet we have the two teams in this game that we really thought from the beginning would be here.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I do fully expect this game to be, a fast pace. It should get pretty physical, especially with seniors who have been here before. So a lot on the line. This should be fun tonight.
How would you like to be 7'1" and a high school senior?
There's certain things you just can't coach, and size is one of them.
Chris Riddle with the opening bucket of the game as Kenwood jumps out to a quick lead.
And that's what I fully expect tonight. This should be a fast-paced, physical game. All of these players know what's on the line here, and this is the game for the state of Illinois, quite frankly. It's the game that matters.
In other words, Mayor, you're saying it's going to be a typical CPS game. Jumper from about 12 feet. That one was off. As Carlos Harris misses his first field goal attempt of the game, and after scoring rather quickly on their first possession, Kenwood will try it again.
Oh, zone defense by the Condors. They're going to try to make Kenwood beat him from the outside because Kenwood has such a height advantage, man-to-man, they will probably kill them down low.
Riddle fires it over onto the corner. And now Kenwood being patient. Again, another thing you need, too, is when you're looking at a zone, you need good passing out of your post. And certainly you've got a Jaden Smith at 7'1", plenty of time and room. That one off.
Oh, look at Smith.
And knocked around, and Curie able to clear the glass. That's Mason Minor. Curie going to work. Minor all the way to the basket, little strong, and the rebound pulled down by Calvin Robbins.
Yeah, you can hear Kenwood yelling switch, but they switch without, you only can guard the man with the basketball. Don't switch off the man with the ball.
That's right. And look, the control and the pace of this game is going to be important. You saw Kenwood wanted to push the ball up a little bit, got set into an offense, but I think the advantage here, the pace moving a little bit faster is certainly in the advantage for Kenwood.
BJ dueling to inbound. Long skip pass to the far corner. A little bit off the mark, and Dueling had to double clutch and re-grab it. Robbins puts it up, couldn't get the roll. Rebound by Riddle, and he cleans it up and puts it in. Chris Riddle 4, Curie nothing.
And Your Honor, I know you'll agree with me that you cannot give a good team like Kenwood second chance opportunities.
No, especially with the height advantage. But look, this Curie High School team is they're pretty special. So this should be good all the way through.
Gonzalez, three-pointer to get the scoring going for Curie.
Well, I saw him play Thursday night in the semifinals. That's like a layup to this young man.
He's a real player.
He had 17 points in that semifinal win over Simeon on Thursday night. First time we see the post get fed, and Robbins wasn't able to come down with it. Curie with a chance to take maybe their first lead of the game. Condors working around. Minor, little runner on the baseline, and that's good.
Boy, nice, simple basketball. You get the baseline, you attack it, you get the baseline, you asking for trouble if you give it up on the defensive end.
Stop and a drive and knocked away. Minor has had the ball a lot so far, drops it off, and it is Carlos Harris, who had 13 in the semis the other night. He's on the score sheet as well, and after giving up an early bucket, Curie's out to a three-point lead.
Well, I love it when you can get offense from your defense.
Yeah, that's really how you start your offense here. You can see what Curie's game plan is tonight is to slow the Broncos down. They get the ball and then push it.
Kenwood just 2 of 6 shooting the basketball to start here. Curie again clearing the glass. Here's Carlos Harris, little stutter stop. Threw it into the corner. Brockett for 3. That was a little bit too much club. Now going the other way off of the rebound. Here comes Chris Riddle. Goes down the lane. had it knocked away. He was fouled. I believe the ticket is going to go to Carlos Harris here.
Oh, yeah, he had an open path to the basket, so he had to really attack at that time. Riddle, this is what I think you want to do. When I always say, Your Honor, good things happen when you attack the basket. And he saw Gonzalez had his back to him.
He had a nice little hesitation there. It was a good move on our guy's part.
By the way, Mayor, how was it the first time somebody called you Your Honor? I think that's really cool. I love that. It's just cool.
Yeah, well, I could just say this. I'm very humbled to be in this position, serving as mayor of the city of Chicago. I will say this, though. The first lady of the city of Chicago, she does not call me Your Honor.
Okay. Well,
I'm trying to get her to do that.
She calls you Hey You, right?
Well, my kids call me Mommy Said.
But the one thing I will say about the mayor, Jim, when I text him like at 10:30 at night, he'll text me right back.
I'm up, for the most part, to about 11:30, focused and preparing for the next day. But, what an exciting night. This is a good start to this great basketball game. I like the pace so far, and it's the way the boys are attacking the basket. This is what we came to see tonight.
Yeah, so now Kenwood is going to go into a 1-2-2 zone. So now, Curie, you're going to have to get ball moving, and everybody's going to have to move and cut hard to the basket like this.
Collier missed the shot underneath the basket, and then coming away with the rebound is Carlos Harris. Curie off to a 3-for-7 start from the field so far. They have a 2-point lead right now. Fired inside. Going to work again is Collier with the miss.
Well, a good shot. He just came up a little bit short.
He did. He probably hesitated just a little bit. When you get a ball that low, you got to go up right away.
Down to the baseline we go, and we get a travel call on the low block called against Calvin Robbins. Second turnover against Kenwood.
Condors basketball.
And these young men have to be nervous. This is a really big crowd here. The upper deck is open behind us. On the big floor, on the big stage.
And if you grow up in the city, this is the game.
Yeah.
This is the big one. You might have multiple teams from the Chicago Public League go down state and win state titles, but there's only one city champion. And it will be the winner of this game today.
Okay, so now Kenwood's going to stay in that 1-2-2 zone. See, so Curie, they're standing around too much. You have to swing the ball, and the guys without the ball have to cut and move.
Gonzalez, runner with the left hand. That one wouldn't go. Collier got a hand on it. Beautiful save by B.J. Dooling to keep it alive for Kenwood. Broncos trying to tie it, maybe go ahead with a 3. Alston with the shot, and we will get a foul on the shot, and it will be 3 shots. Alston will go to the line to try and give Kenwood the lead. And also here to help us out today is Casey Standahar. Casey.
Jim, thanks, guys. We talked about it at tip-off. Curie head coach Michael Oliver told me rebounding will be key to a victory today. He said we have to focus on our defensive rebounding, boxing out on the rebound, because, again, this Kenwood team is tall. Size is definitely a factor working against this Curie team. 2 players Coach Oliver is going to rely heavily on tonight are guard Carlos Harris and Mason Miner. He called Harris the seasoned vet, and he called Miner a junkyard dog. He said he plays hard and scrappy basketball and does what needs to be done. Both players so critical to this team's success here tonight.
Casey, thank you so much. Casey mentioned tall. Alston goes at 6'9".
And what I appreciate about Alston's game is it's a strong inside-outside game. He's not afraid to take that jump shot beyond the arc.
He had 9 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists in the semis. He missed the triple-double by 1 point. That's like missing the cycle because you didn't get the single.
You're right.
It's hard to do.
Kenwood's going to stay in his zone.
Alston made all 3 free throws, and now Kenwood on top by 1. To the basket goes Brockett. Had his shot blocked and then a stick back, and I believe that was Collier. I'll give it to Collier, and Nick Pinto will correct me if I'm wrong. Good to see that the first sub didn't check in with Kenny like
they normally do.
Happens so many times.
Well, he's kind of got that look like he's in charge.
Under 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Alston tried to get away, and pretty good defense by Harris. Almost knocked it away, and then a giveaway. And here comes Minor again. Minor, 3 red shirts, tried to pass it off, stolen away by Dooling. Alston up the floor. Nice bounce pass. Riddle couldn't finish.
Boy, he hit it too hard, and it bounced off the back.
3-pointer by Alston that won't go. And Riddle again with a rebound, couldn't get it to finish. A frustrating trip down the floor for Chris Riddle, but the ball will stay with Kenwood, 1:26 to go.
Boy, he went up and he hit the back of the rim when trying to dunk it. He hit the back of the rim and it just bounced out.
The second chance shots here, that's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a key in this game. And when you get those second chances, though, you got to knock them down.
Rajon Roberts is in for Kenwood. Derek Dowdell, number 23 in the middle of your screen, comes in for Curie. Curie has yet to shoot a free throw. Meanwhile, Kenwood is off to a 4 out of 5 start from the line. Fired inside of the baseline, rattled around, and it finally drops in. Alex Alston has now scored 5 consecutive points to give the Broncos a 1-point lead. See if Curie can run the clock down like the Whitney Young girls did in the girls' championship game. Not a travel. His foot didn't hit the floor before he got rid of the ball. 3-pointer on the way. Gonzalez, his second 3-pointer of the night.
I tell you, that young man can really shoot the ball.
.40 seconds left in the opening quarter. Curie leading by a pair. All the Kenwood field goals have come from in the paint. This will be the first one from outside of the paint. That one won't go. That one did.
It was a very strong offensive set there. They were patient with the ball. They got the shot that they wanted, even though they didn't fall. But because of their size advantage, they were able to get the offensive rebound and put it right back up. And that's going to be key again tonight for the Kenwood Broncos.
Well, they've used the advantage, Mayor, of having those big guys, and they have done the damage in the paint so far. Little bounce pass. Gonzalez trying for his third 3-pointer, didn't get it. Minor with the rebound. He puts it up. Couldn't get that one to go, and that will end the opening quarter of play. Well, it was a very evenly played opening quarter of basketball. Your proof is the score. Kenwood 12, Curie 12. We are back with the second quarter after this timeout. You're watching the CPS title game on the Game of the Week on the U. Tonight's game is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. Contact commercial contractors, explore past projects, and find a career at ConcreteIL.com. Kenny McReynolds being honored here between quarters, and when Kenny gets back to the table, Mayor Johnson, he'll get back to the table. He'll give us what the exact award is, but basically Kenny is going into the broadcast wing of the IHSA Hall of Fame for all the work Kenny has done over the years supporting high school athletics, not just here in the city, but all over the state.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Congratulations to Kenny McReynolds. His mother is out with him celebrating. What a remarkable testament to someone who is as committed as Kenny is to young people, and his work and his charitable approach towards the games of high school sports is really second to none. And that's what we do in Chicago, though. We produce the best, and Kenny is certainly in that class.
But Kenny looks like he's leaving, so I think it's just going to be you and I here for a while, Mayor.
I figured that was being set up. That's what happens. It's like the mayor's got it from here. You got to take care of everything. Now I got to do Kenny's job, too.
4 field goals made off of 3 turnovers. 4 field goals made and 3 turnovers for Kenwood in the opening quarter. Curie, they were 2 out of 4, both made by Gonzalez in the opening quarter.
Well, that certainly has kept them in the game, and that's what big-time players do. And Gonzalez is certainly showing up tonight, getting a good look at the basket, squaring up, and knocking down the shots.
3-pointer on the way, and that one nothing but net.
Coming out of after the quarter and drawing up a play, getting a bucket right away, it's a sign of good coaching. That's exactly what Curie needed in that set.
It was Bradley Johnson for Curie knocking that in. So Curie's knocked in 3 threes so far in the game. Whereas all the points, as we talked about, from Kenwood have come inside the paint. They missed that one. Carlos Harris, what he likes to do best, run the open floor. Ball moved around quickly. That's 2 in a row if it goes and hit the back of the iron. Harris got the rebound. Now baseline drive, and that's going to be a foul on Calvin Robbins.
Yeah, another second chance shot there. You know, that's actually what's going to keep Curie in the game. You see their approach. They want to push the ball up, score, take it to the basket, and when that's not there, kick it back out and shoot those threes. And it's worked for them so far because they're up 3 here.
Rocket on the line. First trip to the foul line for Curie tonight. And that free throw missed. One more coming as a shooting foul. Coming into the game, Jaden Smith and Chris Watkins for Kenwood. You talked early on, Mayor, about how you expect a fast and physical game. Well, I think the coaches are in that line of thinking as well, because we've seen a lot of subs already.
You really have, and the physical play is, it's certainly what you can expect, especially when you have this many seniors out here. And it's been a real joy to watching this game so far.
I promised everybody, Kenny, I'd give the exact title of what you were getting. I just know I called it Broadcaster's Wing of the IHSA Hall of Fame.
Distinguished Media Service.
There we go. Okay, now I don't need to say it. Jumper, three-pointer, that one on the way, and Kenwood has started shooting some outside shots, which is not their game right now. Curie starting to take advantage of it with some strong defensive rebounding. Harris to the rack, puts it in.
Boy, Carlos Harris is so quick.
He really is, and being able to create their own shot off the dribble and going right to the basket, strong up against the big guys of Broncos.
Three-pointer from the top of the key. That one was off by Devin Cleveland. Now the other way. Harris shows the basketball, changed hands and missed. And now we've got the CPS track meet breaking out. Kenny, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I am so thrilled for you, because I have had the privilege of sitting at the press table or freezing in a press box in a football game or sweating at Eastern Illinois during state championship track meets. I'm so happy for you, because you deserve this so much, and I want to thank you, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing this, because you were one of my biggest champions all these years.
Well, I want to thank you, because, I mean, you deserve this award just as much as I do, and if I could cut it in half, I would give you half of it. But since I can't, I'm taking it home. But no, Jim and I have been, we've been together for, who knows, 20-some-odd years. And
22 years at least.
And I couldn't do this without Jim Blaney, and you need good help. As you know, as being the mayor of the city of Chicago, you depend on your people to help you. And Jim and I have been a team, and it's never been about me. It's always been about the student athletes. And I want to thank every student that has given me the honor of calling their game. It's never been about me.
And if you don't mind, Kenny, I just want to throw out my 2 favorite CPS memories from working with you. Number one, and it's always going to be number one, I think, for me, is what we refer to as the Derrick Rose game at the United Center, Derrick's junior year at Simeon, where he shot 11 of 13 from the field, and I think he had 5 blocks.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then the other one was a game that was right here, Wayne Blackshear's senior year at Morgan Park. Morgan Park against Marshall, and it was going to come down to the last shot. Morgan Park had the basketball. Everybody in the place knew Wayne Blackshear was going to shoot the basketball, and he did, and he made it, and Morgan Park won the city title.
Yeah, but there's nothing like the city title. Both those games we talked about, Your Honor, city championship games.
Yeah, it is definitely the premier game of the season. We're looking forward to the state playoffs, but this is as big as it gets.
Another three-pointer that was off the mark. And again, Kenwood's starting to shoot jumpers right now as Cleveland missed that jump shot.
Yeah, I don't think that's what you want to do.
6-point Curie lead. But on the other hand, too, when you're getting all your points in the paint, you've at least got to show that you're willing to shoot it from out there to try and loosen up the defense a little bit.
Well, it helps if you make. Oh, what a nice move. Oh.
Carlos Harris with 6 points. And the Curie lead is up to 8.
And all 3 of those baskets, he's creating his own shots off the dribble. This kid is certainly coming to play tonight.
Mike Irvin is just trying to find something that will work as Curie is in the midst of an 8-0 run. Three-pointer on the way. Roberts. That one hits the back of the iron.
1 and out for Kenwood.
Gonzalez got the rebound. Harris with the basketball now. Harris is, okay, you want to be in a zone? All right, I'm just going to
take it out.
Back out here and dribble the basketball with an 8-point lead and make you come get me.
Yeah, and see, they have the lead, so they do not have to go towards the basket. They can just stand out there all day if you want to.
Defense comes out in the form of Chris Watkins, so Harris has to move toward the basket. Michael Oliver Jr., number 3, is in the game for Curie, working in the backcourt with Harris.
Oh, put it on the floor.
And Oliver lost it for a moment, but Harris able to clean it up.
But, boy, you hear Kenwood saying, switch everything.
Harris got left open for a second, but obviously the MO not to shoot the basketball right now.
Yeah, Curie controlling the tempo of the game right now is not to the advantage of the Broncos.
Gonzalez drives down the lane. Jaden Smith with a block. Harris nearly a steal. At midcourt, Cleveland passes it over. Step back 3 from the college line. That was in and out. And a couple of number 1s get tied up. It was Jaden Smith and Will Gonzalez held basketball.
What a rebound by Smith. Talk about rebounding in a crowd. He went up in a crowd and came down with the ball.
Kenwood is 0 for 6 from beyond the arc.
Got to give a lot of credit to the Curie boys basketball team, the way they're pounding down low and forcing Kenwood to play a perimeter game, which is not their strength.
I think that last 3-point attempt, you saw something we see often in a college gym with high school players. They get confused by the line. That was a step back from beyond the college line. That's a 3-pointer in any league.
In any league.
Michael Oliver Jr. It's an 11-point lead.
Boy, Kenwood has to really get something going. They need to attack.
Calvin Robbins splits the defense and ends the drought.
That's what they need. See, to get the ball inside, attack the basket.
Their first bucket in the second quarter, and guess where it came from? In the paint.
In the paint, yeah.
Kenwood still does not have any points outside of the paint. Big block on defense by Jaden Smith. Kenwood for a chance to score on back-to-back possessions with a stop in between and another 2 points out of the paint and a finger roll by Alex Alston.
Well, yeah, and see, if you make this a fast, up-tempo game, you're playing to Kenwood's strength. And the last 2 possessions, Kenwood has been able to get up and down the court.
Watkins all the way across to Michael Oliver Jr.
See.
You know, Kenny, in the girls' game, I wondered when Whitney Young took the air out of the basketball, I was curious that if they had to restart the engine, if they were going to be able to get it going. And that's kind of what's happened to Curie right now.
Well, yeah, and in that game, the first game, and I said it then and I'll say it now, what you do, when you do that stall, you knock off your offensive rhythm.
Time for our move of the quarter. And the move of the quarter is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. And it's watch the switch of the hands and then an up and under move. Going to the basket by Carlos Harris, and that is our move of the quarter.
No surprise there, right? I mean, and Harris is certainly playing an inspiring game, and the way he's playing with so much poise right now is it's really fun to watch.
Move of the quarter is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. Oliver, or check that, Rajon Roberts on the foul line, misses the free throw. Just the second free throw miss in 6 tries for Kenwood in this game. Kenwood started out great. They were getting to the bucket. They were getting to the line.
When you start to settle for the 3-point shots, which is not your game, that's when they start to fall behind.
Roberts has that one rattle in and out. 7-point lead for Curie. 2 and change remaining here in the second quarter. Another college 3-pointer that'll hit the back of the iron. Collier had his shot blocked. Jaden Smith being a force inside.
A charge.
And that is going to be an offensive foul on Mason Minor, and that is his second.
Boy, Minor put the shoulder down, and boy, you really, really had to give a lot of credit to Robbins Jr. because he took that charge, and that has never been something that I wanted to do when I played, was take the charge.
Yeah, well, you notice the intensity of those last 2 sets. Who had the advantage there? That's what Kenwood has to stick to, playing that type of intensity, playing a more physical game. And then, of course, when you get the ball back, get the ball down low. That's their bread and butter.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter. That's what you need to do. Right now, Curie is going to back into the zone, but you want to try to get that ball down low. 3-pointer,
that one no good. Still 0 from beyond the arc. That time it was B.J. Dooling missing. Mason Minor, too strong. Now a chance to run. Alston in the open floor. Man coming behind him, finger roll is good.
In the transition game, we've been talking about it the entire game. That's what Kenwood does so well.
Now this possession here with Curie, this is key right here. You got, under 2 minutes, almost under a minute left to go in this game. They got to, finish this half strong. And I have an idea who they should get the ball to.
Minor drops it off. Back in by Collier. He couldn't get it. Smith clears the board. Alston, one-handed pass. Calvin Robbins rolls it in.
They have to slow this down if you're Curie, and Curie had to get back and play better transition defense.
Who needs the long ball? All the points for Kenwood have come from inside the paint. Minor drives, triple team, somehow got that through to Harris. He couldn't hit, and then it was a rebound by Collier. He was surrounded by 3 Kenwood Broncos, still got the rebound, almost got it to the glass, did pin a foul on Jaden Smith.
What I appreciated about that last set, Harris has been creating his own shots. Kenwood's defense collapses down on him. Of course, frees open the big guy down low, and now he's got to knock down both these free throws.
2 shots.
Big free throws. Less than 30 seconds to play in this quarter. Wow, he missed that one by a mile. With all legs, and all upper body, no legs. The one thing I could do was shoot free throws. Couldn't do much else. But you gotta bend your knees, relax, follow through. He was all upper body. And you're not gonna make him all upper body. That was a little better because he was on his tiptoes. He went up on his feet, on his toes.
Well, we at least know if you only can shoot free throws, you still have a career in broadcasting.
And in case you didn't notice, Collier is playing with a dinged-up right shoulder. He's got the harness on underneath his jersey. Yeah, Kenny and I have fixed many a free throw shooter there. My thing is, I've never had any proof of this, but I'm a firm believer, based on just what I've seen, is we track spin rate in so many sports, especially baseball now, golf especially. But it seems to me the guys who put more spin on the free throw are the better shooters. So I've always wondered why we don't teach put more spin on the basketball. That's just something I've observed over the years.
That shows he's a smart guy. See, I'm not that smart to figure that kind of stuff out.
Because you hear the football guys talk about, he can really spin it. John Smoltz in a baseball game, that's all he ever talks about. 23-12 was the lead at one time for Curie. Kenwood has gone on an 8-1 run since. Nearly a steal there. Three-pointer, and that one, yes, it was a three-pointer. Rattled in by Christian Brockett. The threes really kind of saved Curie in that opening half. Curie knocked down 5 3-pointers in the opening half, but it's a 27-20 lead for Curie over Kenwood. We're at halftime of the CPS title game.
Tonight's game is brought to you by SIU. Imagine the possibilities. SIU Carbondale. The score at halftime, Curie 27, Kenwood 20. We've got an exciting game here and an exciting halftime report here. I am joined by Christy Miller and Tiana Sanders-Nash from the Special Olympics and the Ray Graham Training Center. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited.
Let's talk about the sports and recreations that are offered to the different diverse and special people here.
Sure. We've been really fortunate the last few years through a partnership with the Chicago Park District and Special Children's Charities to expand the opportunities for diverse learners. We offer Intramural Sports League weekly for elementary and high schoolers. For the little guys, 3 to 7-year-olds, we offer 3 future athletes clinics. We have an extensive alpine ski program where they go through a rookie school, a training camp, and a competition. We also offer, we have Special Olympic Illinois competitions where they can compete on a regional level and also on a state level.
So a lot to offer. Tiana, what are some of the Special Olympics athletes? What can they compete in? How can they take part?
So we have our athletes competing in a lot of events. Some of the ones Christy just mentioned, like we do basketball. This year we won state floor hockey in state. We're doing volleyball, track and field. We're trying to get involved in bocce, swimming. So Special Olympics is offering a lot of events for us, and they're really so happy to get involved and join. Some of them never competed before, but they're doing it in Special Olympics, and they're really excited about that.
And when you say that some of them have never competed before, how special is it for you both to see them and compete and see the growth of this?
It's amazing, the progress that they make from going from a skill level to a team, being able to play a team. It's incredible, and they're so excited when they get a medal, or even if they don't get a medal, just that they've gotten a high five or they've done a great job. So it's really special.
And how can opportunities come, and how can students get involved?
Teachers usually reach out to myself, and then I set up a meeting with them, and then we tell them about all the opportunities we have, and we go from there. Do you want to know?
That's awesome. Thank you so much, both of you, Tiana, Christy, and all the students behind us as well, hanging out with us. We'll be back with more of Halftime on CW 26. Thank you. Well, the roster is shaping up. Be the first to see who's got a shot of going to the state championships by watching the IHSA March Madness preview show Saturday, February 24th at 10:30 a.m. on CW 26 and at 5 p.m. on Sunday, February 25th on the U. And guys, I just wanted to take a minute here to mention Mark Kruger, one of my colleagues and friends. We honored him today before the game, and Mark was really a friend of all of ours, a colleague to all of us. I got to shadow Mark Kruger several years ago when he worked on CN100 Sports and Comcast Network many years ago, and he was so helpful to me, so kind. He always took the time to make sure that I had everything I needed for a broadcast and make sure that I was good to go for these broadcasts. As a young broadcaster, I was learning a lot, and it was just so great to have Mark as a part of our team. We miss him dearly, and I'm sad because we never know when the last time we're going to see someone is. So again, just great to honor our friend Mark Kruger before this game. State championships are coming up. Moving forward towards that, I'm very excited to be on the call as the sideline reporter for all 12 girls and 12 boys IHSA state championships game. Very exciting time for boys and girls state basketball. Now it'll be down at Illinois State for the girls. Very exciting time for all of these girls teams. It's going to be just a marathon of incredible games. And then in Champaign, we return to Champaign to follow all of the great boys state basketball games as well. It's going to be an exciting time, guys, so make sure you're tuning in to CW26, and WCIU will have more coverage after this. Back with the Game of the Week on CW 26, and I'm joined now by Executive Director of Sports Administration here at CPS, David Rosegar, joining me now. David, I saw you were on the court there. What was going on?
We had a we were acknowledging the retirement of Coach Wolf Nelson from Farragut High School. 541 wins and a great coach for 30-plus years. Also Coach Kevin Garnett and Ronnie Fields. And it's a great honor. We honor him with a plaque and a ball and a special jacket. It's really cool.
That's awesome. This week-long format for the CPS Championships game was your brainchild. What went into that, and how proud are you of the success of it so far?
I'm very proud of the effort of the entire staff. We got a lot of great people that make this happen. We've been here since Monday night. We really felt like we needed to honor our other divisions, not just the red division, but our blue and our green and our white. And so we decided we would do so, and we've had all of them come through here and treated them the same with awards and trophies and everything else that we can to acknowledge them. So it's a labor of love, but it's for the kids.
Diversity and inclusion is also a really big part of CPS. What initiatives have you put into that?
We really are thrilled with girls flag football. It's taken off tremendously. There'll be a very exciting announcement coming up this Tuesday, which we're excited about, which will further the growth of women's or girls flag football. Girls wrestling, today we had 10 young ladies qualify for the state finals. First time ever. We had over 200 girls wrestlers last week in our city championship. So we're just looking at how we can grow sports. Water polo or other sports that don't maybe get all the notoriety. We're just opening up beautiful track facilities in 2 of our stadiums. So it's a lot of good things that we're working on to try and get, my words, kids off the couch and get them to play. So
that's huge. That's important. And let's talk a little bit more about basketball. How does the success of CPS and the CPS City Championship game contribute to the history of Chicago basketball?
Well, you know, we feel like we are really good at basketball, I guess, in this city. And we've had a lot of success, both in state championship events and city events. And, you know, it's a grassroots sport. And so everything we can do to make it grow. We're working with the Chicago Catholic League right now on a series of games next year that we're excited to consider and announce. This year we had 2 triple headers between the Catholic League and our public league. So anything we can do to promote the sport and grow the sport. And we had today, in our 7th and 8th grade, we had over 500 games across the city today in 40 different locations. So it's a huge sport for everybody.
I imagine it takes a village. You mentioned over 500 games. Who are some of the people that have really contributed to the success of all of that?
Well, our senior director of elementary sports, Juliana Savala, has been wonderful, and she's got a team of people, and they do a wonderful job and a great job of organizing, scheduling, and sometimes teams don't make it or they have transportation challenges and we have to pivot. We were over at the UIC Forum today with a huge cheerleading event. We had 40 teams participating in cheer. So it's a lot of things going on. We're very proud of what we do. And we're there to try and serve the people of Chicago in the public schools with sports programming.
David, enjoy the rest of this game. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for
David Rosengard here with us. We'll be back with more of the Game of the Week on CW 26.
And we welcome you back to Credit Union One Arena on the campus of the University of Illinois at Chicago. Jim Blaney, Kenny McReynolds, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Halftime of the CPS boys title game. It is Curie leading Kenwood 27-20. We're going to take a look at some of what we saw during that opening half of action. Highlights are brought to you by SIU Carbondale. And right off the hop, we get a bucket by Chris Riddle in the paint, Kenny, by Curie. Every bucket that Curie scored in that opening half was in the paint. And meanwhile, a little long-distance action was the story for Curie. Will Gonzalez made that three-pointer early. Curie made 5 three-pointers in the opening half. So really the story boils down to this, Kenny. Kenwood always scored in the paint. Curie was able to use the three-pointer, and Curie has a 7-point lead.
Yeah, Kenwood is 0 for 7 from behind the three-point arc. That's a lot. Their eight baskets have all been in the paint, which is absolutely a lot. But I tell you what, Kenwood's going to have to start getting the ball back down low. I don't think they can rely on their three-point shooting. And you can see right here, in the paint, that's what they do. That's what they do so well.
There was 2 of Calvin Robbins' 6 points in that opening half of action. Alex Alston got hot late. He had 9 points to lead all the Kenwood scorers in the game. Meanwhile, on the other end of the floor for Curie, they had 7 different players score. They had 4 different guys hit three-pointers. Those are the halftime highlights brought to you by SIU Carbondale. And Kenny mentioned 0 for 7 from beyond the three-point arc for Kenwood. And Kenny, that was when the game turned, is when they started shooting threes, is when they fell behind.
Well, you look, you see with Curie, they're a much shorter team, but they've out-rebounded them 19-17, but they've had 8 different players come down with rebounds, which is really unheard of.
When we come back after this timeout, we will bring you the second half of action. You are watching the Game of the Week. 27-20, the CPS title game. Curie with the lead at the half. Tonight's game is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. Contact commercial contractors, explore past projects, and find a career. You can do so at ConcreteIL.com. The mouth of the Chicago River, looking west on a beautiful February night. And a warm February night, for that matter, as we get ready for the second half of action here at UIC. I want to take a moment and I want to thank the Chicago Public Schools for taking a moment out before the game to honor our friend Mark Kruger. Mark passed away last August, and if you saw the opening, yes, and you may have noticed he did pass away on his birthday. But the thing I always just really, really loved about Mark is whenever he would interview a coach, he would always introduce the coach as the fine head coach of, and I just always thought that was just a marvelous little touch that Mark always did. And I miss him dearly, but I'm certainly a better person for having known Mark Kruger.
Oh, I think we both are, Jim. And one thing I never had to remember my birthday, because Mark would always call me on my birthday. Yep. Hey, kid, happy birthday.
Yep. Second half underway, 7-point lead for Curie. They get a turnover away from Curie to start their offensive set. Carlos Harris, one pass. Collier lost the handle on it, so a turnover on each side on the first possession of this second half.
Yeah, Kenwood, Your Honor, cannot afford turnovers. Not being down by 7 points.
Not at all. They have to get back to what they do well. They got to get the ball down low,
which they just did. And maybe one extra pass by Robbins. Three-pointer on the way, and still 0 for 8 now from three-point land for Kenwood in the game. And they just let Carlos Harris drive to the basket unimpeded.
That was the parting of the Red Sea. Everybody just moved out of the way, and Harris said, okay, I'll just take it.
B.J. Dooling will run the offense now for Kenwood. Alex Alston to the free throw line. Jaden Smith drives, goes up, had that ball knocked out of his hand just a little bit, and I think that altered the shot.
Wow, look how quick he is.
And Carlos Harris grabbed on his way to the basket.
Now, Harris is going to UIC, correct? Yeah, UIC. That is a really good recruit for UIC. Really,
you know what I was thinking about, Kenny, was, and one of the numbers is on the wall over there, is when UIC got Sherelle Ford from Proviso East, it really changed the program. And I'm wondering if that recruit is going to get UIC going in the same direction they did when they had Sherelle Ford.
Yeah, after Sherelle, they were able to get a few more guys. I mean, they've fallen off the map recently, but I'll tell you what, Harris, and Your Honor, you've seen him play. He's going to be, I think, a fine mid-major ball player.
Yeah, it's a big pickup for UIC. And look, UIC is one of our top institutions in the entire state of Illinois. It's a great academic center here. They also have, great sports, between their, soccer team, the baseball team. We know that another Chicago local invests quite a bit in baseball here, Curtis Granderson. And so that's a big pickup. And we have great talent in Chicago, and we want to encourage more of our students to stay right here in Chicago, whether it's our community colleges or our universities. And we have some of the best in the entire country, and UIC is certainly one of them.
Curie out to an 11-point lead now.
When they fall back into the zone, they're going to make DePaul. They're going to make Kenwood beat him from the outside.
Jaden Smith had it knocked away, and Brockett came up with it. And here comes Carlos Harris. He sees an opportunity, and then good job of getting back on defense by Dooling to prevent Harris from going to the basket.
Curie's done an amazing job here controlling the tempo of the game.
Oh, bad pass.
But the Condors get away with it, and Carlos Harris will reset.
You see, they're taking their time. This is what they have to do. They don't have to be in a hurry. You don't want to make it the track meet which fall into Kenwood's hands. You take your time, you get a good shot. Although that one missed, but that was a great possession, I think, for Curie.
It really was. Got a good look at the basket, and it was a good shot. And so listen, this is important score set right here.
Cleveland goes to the basket, can't hit. Nice job of protecting the rebound by Curie, and they will get the basketball. Hey, everybody, don't forget that in a couple of weeks we have the IHSA tournament getting underway, and then we will have the finals coming up later. But before we get to any of that, make sure you tune into the CW26 a couple of weeks from now at 10:30 in the morning, and then on Sunday the 25th on the U at 5 o'clock for the IHSA March Madness preview show. They will talk about Chloe Froby from Lincoln, who we saw score 48 in the semis last year. She looks like she might be back for a trip downstate. Curie trying to add on to the lead. Short little jumper, and that's knocked in by Mason Minor.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the turnover, getting the offense from the defense, everything going the way of the Condors.
The margin is 13. Alston, three-pointer, no.
Still no three-pointer.
0 for 9 and counting.
Yeah, Kenwood has to settle down right here. There's still no need to panic. There's a lot of basketball left in this game. And Curie is doing an amazing job forcing Kenwood to play a game that is not their style.
Yeah.
But you got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. They've clearly scouted very well. This is an important possession here for the Broncos.
Boy, see if we can get something like a lob toward the basket.
Alston tried to turn the corner. Minor cut him off. Dueling looked like he wanted to go inside to Riddle. Long three-pointer by Cleveland. And that is good, and that breaks the drought.
It came from the logo.
They haven't made him, I mean, remember, they haven't made him from the line, but get him out near midcourt. I guess that's the secret to it. And then they answer on the other end by Carlos Harris.
Yeah, but you better stop Carlos Harris.
He is the first Curie Condor to double figures. He has 10. Lead is 12. Dueling, foul line, into the corner. Alston, and that one was off the back of the rim. Nice job at keeping it alive, getting the rebound and putting it back by Chris Riddle.
Yeah, the DePaul recruit on the backboards, my beloved DePaul Blue Demons. Wish they had him now.
Jumper, and you can count that as well. Will Gonzalez, that's his first two-pointer of the night. He has 2 threes.
I think Gonzalez is the most unsung player in CPS. All he does is go out and shoot and score, and you never hear about him.
2 in a row? Yes! Devin Cleveland from Cleveland.
But now, if you're Kenwood, you need a defensive stop.
Lead is under double digits. 3:15 to go here in the third quarter. And Gonzalez never got off the deck. The reason why he was fouled, it will be Calvin Robbins with his second. Now, Kenny, here's the question I have, is we all of a sudden Devin Cleveland hits 2 3-pointers. So theoretically, that should open it up inside, so they have to be looking from beyond the arc to fire it into the lane.
Exactly.
To use their size to their advantage, right?
And, yeah, oh yeah, because now you're gonna have to come out and play him, and if he can get it inside and nothing there, then you kick it back out.
Christian Brockett with the basketball for Curie. Curie's last city title came in 2019. That was a whole other world ago. That was before the pandemic. Three-pointer, and that one is good. Nothing but net. Bradley Johnson, his second 3 of the game. And that now is 6 threes overall for Curie.
Yeah, you have Johnson standing out there by himself. He hits that 3. Big fella.
That is the 3rd consecutive trip on which Kenwood has scored a 3 after they had gone over for the entire game.
Well, I guess good shooting. What do? You just keep shooting.
Baseline drive, reverse. That was blocked. Here comes Dueling the other way. Cleveland again. And that breaks the streak of 3 made threes in a row.
Look out.
It has been raining threes here at Credit Union 1 Arena the last little bit. Now remember, Kenwood was 0 for 7 in the opening half from three-point land. Then Devin Cleveland starts to get hot, made that one. And as Kenny and I always say, if a guy makes one, give it to him the next time down.
Again. And then you kick it back out. Curie doing a much better job with three-point shooting. They get hot from beyond the arc.
Brad Johnson has 6 points in this game, and they came on 2 3-pointers.
Yeah, Devin Cleveland certainly come off the bench and given a nice spark to the Broncos here. But again, they got to get some defensive stops here, and I still believe they got to keep getting the ball down low.
We're down by 9 with 1:50 to go here in the third. What a nice feed to Carlos Harris.
Oh, what a great pass. Gonzalez with a great diagonal pass, had a wonderful angle. And Harris continues to just show that he's a star. But watch this pass. You get it here, watch the pass, right there. See him cutting, he's held, moving without the basketball. Great angle, great diagonal pass. What, this is a great pass. Boom, right there. He's fouled at the line now, trying to get the three-point play.
Foul is on Alston, his second. First trip to the foul line for Harris, in spite of the fact that he has been fabulous at driving to the basket in this game. Curie 5 out of 7 from the line. By the way, neither team reached a bonus in the opening half. And we've got a little work to do to get there here in the second half. Riddle showed the ball. Beautiful feed to Robbins. He couldn't finish. Collier clears the glass.
That's what you like to see. It's a good set there. They got to stick to that aspect of the game. They got to get a defensive stop here.
Yeah, the lead is starting to increase. It's back up over double digits again. And Minor, the ball left his hand, and he saw Riddle standing right there and then knocked away at midcourt. That's going to be a foul on Brockett.
Well, that would give coaches gray hair when you foul somebody at midcourt.
Yeah, you know, I think in that sense, though, it was not a bad foul there. They're going to stop the momentum for Kenwood. You know, I know what you're saying. The coaches would be upset with that. I actually think it was a pretty good foul for Curie. It stopped the transition. You're forcing Kenwood now to get into the offensive set, which they haven't really been doing too well in. So I'm going to take that foul.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe that's the only thing that I probably did well in the basketball court. Remember the year with the hack-a-shack?
Oh, yeah.
The Bulls had, those big guys, and they just fouled.
Just fouled them.
Cleveland a little bit too much club on that one.
Don't feel bad, Aaron. I used all 5 of my fouls.
That's what they're there for, aren't they?
Sometime in the first half.
Hey, listen, if you got them, you better use them.
Long three, and that one wasn't particularly close. Kenwood down by 12. We're under a minute to go in the third. Top of the key. And that one is good. Devin Cleveland, his third three-pointer of the quarter.
Only a freshman.
And see, that shot was created because, again, Kenwood went to the basket. The Curry's defense collapsed down on him hard, left Cleveland open, and he certainly has had quite the game in this second half.
Yeah, and a timeout called by Michael Oliver.
Yeah, he wants a timeout. He wants to make sure that if they turn the ball over here, that it doesn't go to Devin Cleveland.
Yeah.
Our next game on Game of the Week is coming up 2 weeks from Monday, when we will bring you a 4A girls super sectional matchup right here on the U. Monday, February 26th at 7 p.m. And then we will follow that up the next week with, we'll be right back here at Credit Union 1 Arena, and we will bring you a 3A and 4A boys super sectional matchup. And then after that, girls state tournament the last weekend of February, and then the boys, their state tournament is the first full weekend in March. By the way, when these two teams get to the state tournament, for Curie, they will be the #1 seed in what is a stacked Riverside Brookfield sectional. And they're looking at a section semifinal matchup against Lincoln Park or Whitney Young. Meanwhile, for Kenwood, they are the #2 seed in that section. And of course, that means they're on the opposite side of the bracket. Section semifinal, they would be looking at a matchup in all likelihood with either Simeon or Riverside Brookfield.
So not going to be easy
for neither team.
Yeah.
But that's what you want this time of year. You want to see quality competition between these high schools because these rivalries are great. I mean, these are games that they will remember for the rest of their lives as they go into their college career.
Without question. And some of the young men may not even play college sports or college basketball, but everybody can't. But this is something, you're right. Big crowd, the balcony's almost full, the lower bowl is totally full, that these young men will remember this for the rest of their lives.
Kenny McReynolds here.
Yeah,
this is exciting.
The mayor's here. Mayor Johnson is here.
The mayor, meaning Kenny, and Mayor Johnson, meaning the actual mayor. Right?
Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, walking around with you, Kenny, it is kind of like a de facto mayor.
I noticed he was walking around with his plaque the entire time.
Right, and he's, kissing enough babies.
Yeah, but see, I have to hold it now because once we get outside, my mother's going to take it. I'll never see it again.
As she should. 6 seconds left. Harris got in the air, found Minor, reverse, that was blocked. Chris Riddle, nice defensive play to end the quarter. So Curie will take the lead into the fourth quarter. They have a 9-point margin over Kenwood. It's 43-34 Condors. We're back for the fourth quarter. After this timeout, you are watching the Game of the Week on CW 26. Tonight's game is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. Contact commercial contractors, explore past projects, and find a career at ConcreteIL.com. Jim Blaney, Kenny McReynolds, Mayor Brandon Johnson with you for the fourth quarter coming up of the CPS Boys Championship game. Curie leads 43-34. 1 year ago, Curie was sitting at home and they were watching Simeon play Kenwood in the championship game. And going into the fourth quarter of that game 1 year ago, Simeon had a 20-point lead.
Yep.
It is a year later, and I still cannot figure out how a team, meaning Kenwood, made up a 20-point deficit in a high school basketball game with no shot clock. But they did.
They did.
They rallied from 20 down at the start of the third quarter to force overtime. And Kenny, you know, from knowing me for so long, I love math, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if you have a 20, we all know, and from our time playing junior high basketball, that our coaches always told us that you get a point a trip, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you have a 20-point lead, that means that's 20 trips to make up that deficit. So the other team's gonna have 20 trips also, right? All you have to do is burn more than 12 seconds a trip, and the other team can't catch you, basically. But Kenwood did. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on a basketball floor. So all I'm saying in a big roundabout way is don't count Kenwood out just yet, because they came from 20 down after 3 last year to send the game with Simeon into overtime.
Especially the way they shot the threes in the third quarter. After going 0 for 7 in the first half, they were 4 out of 9 from the three-point land, and Curie has 16 field goals on 14 assists. So they get everybody involved.
Well, Kenwood coming out of the quarter, going right to the basket. You know, not that I'm an expert in coaching, but that's their game. That's how they're going to get back in this game, taking it right to the basket.
Right.
Let's check in with Casey Standahart.
Second basket, no.
Kenwood head coach Mike Irvin told his team a lot of basketball left. We have 8 minutes. That's a lot of time. He said, let's set up screens, play smart defense. He said, let's get some energy. Last year, we got some energy in this fourth quarter. We can repeat and do that again, guys.
Casey, did he mention the 20-point thing, or did he just say last year?
He said last year.
Okay.
In this game.
He didn't say 20 points.
Right.
Still one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in all the years Kenny and I have been working together.
In a high school game, not a lot of time.
Yeah, and there's no shot clock. You know, NBA, you could see that with a shot clock, and Harris gets the finger roll to go. Carlos Harris with 15 in the game, and the lead is back up to 9.
And Carlos has shown a lot of leadership here, showing a lot of poise, taking it right to the basket, and keeping his team well in control of this game still.
Hey, Kenny, am I nuts on this? Does Carlos Harris kind of remind you of Sharon Collins?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Former Crane High School star.
Or is it just because he's wearing the same colors that Collins wore at Crane and at KU?
I think a little bit of both. For all three.
Minor couldn't get it to go, and Kenwood with another stop. This is getting interesting.
But Kenwood has to take advantage.
Alston, three-pointer. That one won't go. Riddle was there for a rebound. He couldn't get it. Ball rattles around, and it finally comes into the possession of Brad Johnson.
That's not a bad shot there. It's a good look at the basket.
Harris had it taken away momentarily. And we have a held ball. The arrow favors Curie, by the way. Yeah, that's got to be a held ball. So Curie's going to keep it.
Here it is again now. Watch everybody go right down to the floor. A lot of contact, but good call.
Here's another thing, Kenny, from CPS games past. I cannot believe Patrick Beverly is still in the lead. I want to say we did a Patrick Beverly game
at
the first year we did the games here on the U in 05.
Yep, at DePaul. Remember, we had a camera on his mom.
And he hit like 4 3-pointers in a row to start a game, I remember.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was at Crane.
Yep, and then we did one at DePaul. His mom was leading the
right. Backdoor cut, and Harris couldn't hit that one.
Good rebound.
Rebound and a stick back, that won't go either. Derek Dowdell couldn't get the handle on it the second time.
When you talk about guys going to the boards hard, look at this. Goes up, fake, the guy up, fake. Going to the boards so hard. Guys are just tremendous athletes.
Down the lane, no look pass and slammed home.
Whoa.
Calvin Robbins able to put it away, and it looks like he'll get a chance to cash in one more.
What a pass by Roberts. Look at this pass. No look. In the air, gets it down to the big fellow, puts it down right into your living room. No look pass. I'm open. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Well, you saw him do a great job breaking down the defense and getting the ball down low. I want to just keep driving that because, you know, that's where Kenwood has an opportunity to get back in this game. But again, the way Curie is playing, they're still controlling the tempo of the game here. This is going to come down to the very end.
Robbins hits the free throw. He has 9.
And going down to the end is just what this big crowd here at UIC would love to see. The girls' game was exciting. This is going to be an exciting finish as well. It's still
nearly stolen away by Devin Cleveland.
Well, it's just so fun to see such local talent and to know that our universities here in Chicago are recruiting our Chicago Public School students. Kenny, you may not be aware of this, but we're breaking scholarship records for CPS students.
Chris Riddle got it, and it is now a 6-point game.
Okay, now they have to stop it on defense.
Will Gonzalez goes to the rack and block charge. Which one?
Going to be a block.
And I believe that is Calvin Robbins who will get up last, and it is. And that's number 3 on Robbins.
Okay, here we go. Look at the big guy right here.
Teams first.
Well, what I liked about Gonzalez there, of course, he's done a great job with his mid-range jumper and behind the arc, but him attacking the basket there with the game on the line, it's a lot of maturity on his part, and that's exactly what you want in this moment.
Sure, hey, I'm not afraid of the big moment.
That's right. Especially with a guy who shoots as well as he does, you got to figure if he draws the foul. His percentage on the free throw line is certainly it's pretty high. It puts him in the best position to continue to lead his team.
Yeah, I really do. I think he's the most unsung player in CPS.
Mayor Johnson, you just successfully avoided your first announcer jinx by the way you phrased. He's 4 of 4 from the line. So you worked around that nicely.
Yeah, we certainly don't want the mayor to be responsible for jinxing someone's
No. That's not good.
No.
That's not good for the favorability rate.
No, we're here to encourage the kids. It's all about the kids here.
Right.
But as I was saying before that last transition, millions of dollars in scholarships for our Chicago Public School students getting into top universities and going to community college. Some of them are going on to 4-year degrees. Some of them are going into the trades. It's really remarkable what our Chicago Public Schools are doing over the last couple of years, and we want to continue to do that. Investing in our neighborhood schools, investing in our public schools is the best thing that we can do.
I think that's a beautiful thing to see that our students are doing the right thing, going to college, getting an education, trying to get a wonderful future for themselves.
Free throw line jumper knocked in by Rajon Roberts. He has 4, and it's back to a 6-point margin with under 5 to go.
Another high percentage shot from Kenwood, and that's their game.
And a skate save in the lane, and Curie will keep the basketball. It's really hard to get a 6'6 player, as Tavion Collier is, to grab a pass that's at his foot.
That's a tough pass. That was a tough pass. It was a good look, but that was a tough pass. I thought he was going to pull up and take a shot there. But yeah, that was a tough pass, but got the ball underneath the basket here.
And that was a heater coming in on Collier. Gonzalez stops, feeds. Collier that time couldn't hit, and he was fouled as he went up.
Boy, tough foul right there.
Ball called against the Broncos, number 24,
Here's it again.
Alex Alston.
Boy, this is a tough foul if you're Kenwood, because
Team second.
you don't want to foul a guy like that. And you can see he hit him from behind on the arm.
But Gonzalez breaking down the defense, because obviously Kenwood knows that this guy can shoot. Him breaking down the defense and getting passes down low. That's some great versatility that Curie is showing right now.
By the way, that's the third foul on Alston, but that's only the second team foul on Kenwood. So if they need to start sending Curie to the line, they're going to have to do a little bit of catch-up here. 9 out of 11 from the foul line for the Condors in this game. Back to an 8-point lead. Alston with the basketball. Roberts trying to go by Minor. Passed off to Robbins, and it won't go, but he got fouled on the way to the basket.
Boy, that could have been a three-point play. That really would have been big for Kenwood.
You get that deep, you got to knock that shot down, the big fella. But here's a chance to put his team back into within 6 points here if he can knock down both of these.
Yeah.
Everybody in jinx.
The announcer's jinx.
You all warned me. He walked right into that when he gets it.
Don't worry about it. We've done it for years.
I'm not saying anything right now.
I do not believe that saying there is a no-hitter going has any effect on whether the pitcher loses the no-hitter.
Let's still talk about the weather anyways. On behalf of this young man's family. There you go.
Calvin Robbins with that free throw gets to 10 points on the game. And it is a 7-point margin with 4:27 to go. 14 fouls on Curie, by the way, so we got a little work to do to get into the bonus. Gonzalez just glides to the basket and rolls that one in.
He is so smooth. He is so smooth.
14 for Gonzalez in the game. Tip pass, it got to Riddle. Riddle trying to make something happen. Alston, he really got fouled there, but he didn't hit the shot. And that foul is going to be on the floor, and it looks, nope. Applauding is dueling.
Foul called against the Condors, number 30.
Well, a foul is only a foul if the whistle blows.
Right.
Just because we heard a smack over here.
And I believe that foul is, yeah, that foul was on Minor. That is his third. And that is team foul number 5 on Curie.
And so now Kenwood gets to go to the free throw line for the remaining of this game.
See, Kenwood only has 8 players. You can look at their bench. You have 3 guys in the red uniforms. They have more assistant coaches than they have players. They really do. Just look at all the guys in the black warm-up suits. All the assistant coaches. So I asked why. And one of the assistant coaches told me they had 2 guys that played on the sophomore team. But once you got into this tournament, you can't play both up and down. They had to make a choice. So now once the state tournament starts, they'll come back up to the varsity. But regular season, you can play 6 quarters. So you can play 4 on the fresh sophomore team and 2 varsity. But in this tournament, they had to make a choice. And those young men chose to go play sophomores. So that left the team with only 8 players.
Kenwood is 10 out of 14 from the line. So they got off to a rough start from the foul line, but they've picked it up and they are down 7. Kenwood needing a stop now. We're under 4 minutes to go. Nearly a steal. That'll be a foul on Michael Oliver Jr. Team foul number 6 on the Condors. Or, excuse me. Team foul number 4 on Kenwood. Let me correct that. That was Roberts with the foul.
Condors basketball.
Yeah, Kenwood might want to give the fouls. They're getting to the point in the game where you might want to get the option of sending them to the line.
For one thing, you stop the clock.
Right. I was really surprised in the girls' game how long it took Whitney Young to start using the fouls. Because they had one team foul until late in the fourth quarter. You don't need to worry about any of that if Harris keeps driving to the basket and hitting. He has 17, and we get a timeout called by Kenwood.
They did a great job of spreading the floor, giving Harris room to operate. And all night, he has just shown that he is a superb player, and he can just attack the basket, get to the baseline, get the easy layup by just being so quick and so smart.
Time now for our move of the quarter, which is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. And when you make a no-look pass that results in a dunk, you're going to get move of the quarter.
You're going to get move of the quarter. You can see Calvin Robbins Jr. with the slam dunk. But Roberts with a nice no-look pass. Hit it again, right to your living room. Hey, pass it to me. Okay, I know, I'll do it to you. And the nice slam dunk.
And the move of the quarter is brought to you by ConcreteIL.com. I don't really know that Roberts had to do the no-look part of it, but it looked cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he didn't, and it was beautiful.
Hey, these guys know the TV camera they're on. They know Brandon Johnson is here.
That's what it's all about.
They want to show off for the mayor.
Today's game directed by Nate Chanel. The associate producer is recently new dad Michael Chen, who's not getting a lot of sleep these days. And the executive producer for CW26 Game of the Week is our buddy Fred Weintraub.
It's so good to see, the Broncos, the cheerleaders, the full programs that exist in our schools, giving opportunities to our children to participate in extracurricular. That helps build identity, and it also helps encourage to build purpose. It's such a remarkable thing to see our students participate in the fullness of what our Chicago Public Schools have to offer.
And one thing I like about CPS, there's a sport for everybody, because everybody can't be a basketball player, everybody can't be a football player, everybody can't be a baseball player. But there's tennis, there's track, there's volleyball, there's sport for everybody.
And of course, student council and robotics and all the other activities as well. So, but yeah, it's really great to see so many sports available to our students.
And
you start talking robotics, that's way over my head.
My sources tell me we're going to get a sport that already exists in CPS will be, and at many schools around Illinois now, will be an official IHSA sport very, very soon. And that was a dangerous pass. Minor came up with it, held ball. It's going to go to Kenwood.
Well, see, now they need points, though. Kenwood really need points. They have to take advantage of every situation.
Well, they're right about where they were against Simeon last year. They got about half of that 20-point deficit by the middle of the quarter. So they know what this is like. But they do have to get points. Alston bounce pass, feeds Riddle. Alston wanted to shoot that, but he double clutched the basketball. Is it Cleveland time? Alston.
Oh,
that looked kind of like Dr. J with that finger roll, didn't it? And Alston will get it, he'll go to the line.
Big fella playing volleyball on the backboard. That's what he needs to do. He's 7-1. Dominate the backboards. The nice finger roll was a little short, but then here comes Kenwood on the boards. Put it down. Now watch Austin. He'll just grab it, put it up, foul. He's able to get it in. Free throw, big.
Alston hits it. 15 points, 4 rebounds for Alex Alston. That's coming off the 9-16-10 game against Simeon. And it is a 6-point game. Harris kicked it out.
Oh, if I'm Curie, I'm taking my time.
Gonzalez and Harris working it out beyond the arc. Harris works his way in. Nice feed. Beautiful finish by Collier.
And the key to that, what I love about that possession, they ran a lot of time off the clock.
Collier's first field goal of the game. Kenwood has to have points. Almost every possession they turn it over. Here comes Harris. Harris driving on a freshman will go up, and he won't get it, but he gets fouled by Devin Cleveland.
Boy, he was fouled really hard by Cleveland. Coming off the steal right to you now.
Ball called against the Broncos, number 10.
He fouled, but he hits that floor really hard and kind of awkward.
The foul was on Riddle, not on Cleveland.
Watch the way he hits the floor.
Okay, that's the correct call.
Well, it looks like he's tired. He's like, you know what? He's laid there with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
He's gonna nap real quick.
Yeah, because nobody's hurt when they got free throws. Never. No. It's like in hockey. You ever notice a guy who thinks he's hurt, all of a sudden he finds out there's going to be a power play and he's fine?
Oh yeah, you get hurt and all of a sudden you got the ball on offense. Yeah.
Right.
No, coach, I'm good.
I'm good.
But then on defense, coach, I need to get out.
I was doing a game one time, and it was a girls' game, and one of the players just got absolutely hammered, go to the basket, and she jumps up, hobbles to the line on 1 foot, gets to the line and takes her free throws, and then has to come out. I asked her after the game, I go, what was all that? She goes, I got to get my throws. Harris missed the second. That's Harris, but the first shot he's missed tonight. It's a 9-point game with 1:57 to go.
A lot of dribbling here.
Alston, low block. What a nice move to turn, but he threw it into traffic.
He probably should have put that up.
Alston will shoot a 3. That's good. Kenwood still alive. Second three-pointer of the night for Alston. He has 18.
And timeout by Kenwood. That's to stop the clock, and for Mike Irvin also to get together with his coaching staff and draw up something on the defensive end. Here it is again. The big fella's been taking those threes, so you get that. Called an immediate timeout to stop that clock with a 1:42 to go. He's wide open. You know what? They haven't hit a lot of them, but they're not afraid to take them, which I kind of like. They say, you know what? We're just going to keep doing what we do best, and that is shoot the basketball.
Well, they had a balance inside and outside. Now that they've gotten that balance, you know, especially the game on the line here, this is when these shots are going to be critical coming down to the wire here.
For the rocky start they got off to, shooting three-pointers in this game, Kenwood has 5 made threes in this game. That's pretty good for a high school game.
Mm-hmm.
And Curie, remember how red hot they were from three-point land in the first half. They're still on 6 made three-pointers.
Yeah, both of these programs have done an amazing job preparing our boys for this game. It's been really fun to watch thus far. And as we anticipated it coming down to the wire here, this next offensive possession is going to be critical for Curie. I have an idea who they should get the ball to. Mm-hmm. as Carlos Harris has done an amazing job leading this team. And I fully, expect him to get the ball, to get the offense into a real set here, and hopefully can find somebody open.
Christian Brockett had the nose plugged up for a while. Now he has a bandage on the bridge of his nose. Gonzalez will drive. He'll finger roll it. That looked like it was touched on the rim, but we're going to get a foul before that.
Yeah, the whistle blew before the ball was touched on the rim.
Ball called against the Broncos to the 5.
Foul on B.J. Dooling, number 5.
Team Smith. Will Gonzalez in the line for the Condors.
So Curie is working on having a rather interesting pattern going here.
Mm-hmm.
They won the city title in 2014. They won it 5 years later in 2019. And here we are 5 years later from that last one.
Every 5 years. Not bad.
So go to Vegas, put some dollars down on Curie to win the city title in 2029.
Now, I haven't been to broadcasting school with 1:34 on the clock still. I'm not sure if we're supposed to say that just yet.
I'm hedging. I'm leaving the door open, clearly. And that's the reason why.
Especially when you make a foul. One thing you don't want to do if you're Curie is stop the clock.
B.J. Dooling picks right now for his first field goal of the game. And it's right now a 5-point margin with a free throw coming.
Couldn't come at a better time. And look, this young man has done a good job, controlling the game, keeping the tempo. This is where his leadership is going to be important down the stretch.
Missed free throw, that hurts.
That hurts.
And that was Dooling's first miss from the foul line tonight. 5-point game, 1:15 to go. And timeout called by Michael Oliver.
Well, I think if you have a delay game in your arsenal, Michael Oliver may put it in right now with 1:14 to go. Hey, I'm not shooting this basketball. I'm going to spread the floor out, and I'm going to make them foul me and stop the clock and put me on the line.
These two teams could meet again, and if they do, it will be in the section final at Riverside Brookfield.
Yeah.
In the IHSA tournament for the girls tournament gets underway this week. The boys around the state have one more week of mostly conference play, with the exception of CPS, and then after that they go into their state tournament. So a lot of teams are going to be having disappointing finishes coming up. That's the one thing I don't like about tournament time, is you only get a handful of teams that walk off happy at the end of the year, but that's also the beauty of basketball. You settle it on the floor.
Well, I will say one thing about the state tournament. It's going to take a really great state tournament to beat the action we've seen here tonight in the CPS championships, both the boys and the girls.
Yeah. And we talked earlier about how balanced CPS basketball was this year. That's not just the case here in the city of Chicago. That's all around the entire state. There's no super team, but there's a lot of really good, it's not like Glenbard West a few years ago, where they rolled through the season undefeated and won a state title, or going back to the Derrick Rose Simeon teams, okay? Or even those great Whitney Young teams that we've seen over the years. This year, it really is wide open in almost every class.
How many players are out there? Yeah, it looks
One,
like
two.
Yeah, they caught it. Yeah, they caught it. I'm watching that.
It's worth a try. You caught it, John.
I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't have. Well,
maybe that's why you're the mayor. You catch things.
Yeah, we see everything.
Yeah. Man, you caught it in a hurry.
I expect Kenwood to foul right away as soon as the ball was inbounds.
They have one to give, and then they go to the bonus. Robbins in the backcourt. Timeout called by Michael Oliver, because let's give where the credit is due to Calvin Robbins. He did a wonderful job of forcing Gonzalez to panic a little bit.
Yeah.
And he didn't foul him.
No, he didn't foul him at all.
But on the other hand, for Curie, they burned off time, and there's still a foul to give.
And they still have possession of the ball.
Right. And you still have a minute, and you got a minute 8 to go, which is a little bit less than when they inbounded the ball the last time.
Well, you better be strong with the basketball, because you know the Broncos are coming. They are coming at you, so you better be strong with it if you get it.
Both teams have done an amazing job staying in the game. Neither one of them have allowed any of the runs to throw them off. So, it'll be interesting to see what the coach draws up coming out of this timeout. But they do not obviously have to take a shot. Key thing here is no turnover for Curie.
And there is the 6th team foul, and that one is going to go on Rajon Roberts. Before we get maybe busy with an incredible finish, thanks for joining us, Mayor Johnson. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your hospitality. And of course, and I point this out to people all the time, that the mayor of the city of Chicago is indeed the head of the Chicago Public Schools. So thank you so much for allowing us all these years to take part in CPS athletics.
Well, you're certainly welcome. Thanks for letting me hang out with you all tonight. It's been a real joy. And for a quick moment, I did major in communications just for a quick second. But I decided to go into youth.
But you got smart and went into a field where there's less backstabbing.
and a lot more money. A whole lot more money.
A long time ago, somebody described the broadcasting business to me as, they said, every profession, think of it as a tree. And as you go farther up in the tree, there's fewer branches and they get thinner, meaning they support less people. And said the difference between broadcasting and almost every other profession is everybody in the tree has a saw. And I've always thought, okay, that really describes probably your profession as well, I would think.
I will say that they don't just have saws. It's a number of items that they use. But the people of Chicago have been wonderful. It's been very humbling over these first 9 months serving in this capacity. As you all know, started off as a public school teacher, teaching at Jenner Academy, Cabrini Green, then teaching high school at Westinghouse.
Drive to the bucket by Rajon Roberts. He has 6 in the game. We're under a minute to go, and we get another timeout by Michael.
I understood that when you were a teacher, you never gave a failing grade. Is that true?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. If a child was struggling in front of me, I did everything in my power to make sure that they weren't, right? And so, you know, I believe that there are ways in which children should have the opportunity to learn. There are different, you know, modalities that you have to use, and to the best of our ability, we have to put students in the best possible position to succeed. And that's, you know, that was my motto in the classroom, that I don't want any child failing in front of me. If they're with me during the day, I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that they're supported. And I take that same mentality into the city of Chicago. I want families, working families, to thrive, and I want people to feel good about living in the city of Chicago. And so far, we've seen some great results. Shootings are down. Homicides are down. We still have a long way to go. We're investing in the unhoused, $250 million into supporting those who are unhoused. 1 in 4 students, particularly black students, will experience homelessness during their time as a Chicago public school student. So that's why it's so important that we invest in affordable housing and youth employment.
Well, let's see if Curie can get the ball in bounds here.
5-point lead. Harris has it. Got to get it across the timeline. And they do, and a long pass and a beautiful finish by Brad Johnson.
And that may do it.
35 seconds to go. 3-pointer on the way, and that's down the bottom of the drain. 4th 3-pointer of the night by Devin Cleveland. Not done yet.
Not done yet, and I may have spoken too soon when I said that may do it. This young freshman, somebody forgot to tell him, this is a big stage. He's not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, he was determined. You knew that shot. He was taking that shot. The moment he crossed the half-court line, I just figured he was going to pull up. And you got to appreciate that as a freshman, for him to just play with that type of boldness and that type of fierceness. He has literally kept the seniors in the game.
No question about it. What a performance by the freshman.
Yeah, you know, the game of basketball has evolved. I mean, thinking about, you know, our big guy Austin, a left-hander, you know, 6'8", 6'9". I remember when players like that showed up in the league. That was Tony Kukoc.
Yeah.
Where you didn't see guys playing with that height, with that type of nimbleness. And look who just checked back in.
Here comes the big fella.
Yeah, the big fella.
Well, the 3-point shooters for Kenwood are Cleveland and Alston. Cleveland now has 4, as I mentioned. Alston has 2.
And look, if you're Kenwood, you don't even give them a chance to get the ball across half court.
No.
You got to foul right away.
Oh, I agree.
Yes, because the board still says 5 team fouls on each team. And nearly given, it was given away.
He's got it.
Cleveland has it. Fights his way down the lane. Alston for 3. Couldn't get it. Rebound. Ball back to Alston. 3-pointer on the way. That one misses everything. 10 seconds to go. And Alston can't get the basketball. It goes off his fingertip. And the ball will go back to Curie. With Curie holding a 4-point lead with 7 seconds left. The Broncos had their chances.
They had their chances. They had their chances. The ball just wouldn't fall. They had some really, really, really good looks.
Condors basketball.
But what a performance, huh?
Got a foul right away, and that one is going to be on Riddle.
What a performance. What a ball game.
Well, some of the folks are starting to leave, but technically not over yet, because it will still be a 2-possession game no matter what happens on the free throws. But you're going to have to do some quick work if that's the case. Going to the line is Carlos Harris. He's 2 out of 3 from the line tonight. He missed his last free throw.
And the one thing the Curie coaches are yelling, don't foul. You don't want to stop the clock. Let those 6 seconds tick off.
This is a big free throw because now if you foul somebody shooting a 3, it's not potentially a game-tying situation. It's going to take 2 possessions no matter what now for Kenwood.
Well, Kenwood, of course, is going to have to come the full length of the court, which certainly makes it a little bit harder to get it done here. But this free throw is big. What a moment for this for the senior here.
Second basket good.
5 seconds left. Little high and outside. Riddle steps back, lets it go. And after coming so close last year, Kenwood will walk off the floor disappointed once again, but for the Curie Condors, book it every 5 years, as they will walk off the floor with a CPS title in 2024.
Wow, congratulations to Curie High School. What a remarkable game. And, you know I don't get to give out awards, but Carlos Harris really came with great tenacity and energy tonight to secure this win for Curie High School. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and we get to watch them play right here at UIC. The Chicago kids staying in Chicago. That's what we want.
And Curie will roll into the state playoffs, ranked number 2 by the Chicago Sun-Times. They're the number 1 seed when they get to playing in their sectional. They are a confident basketball team with a pretty impressive resume of games that they have won. They have not lost since back on January 23rd when they were beaten by Lindblom.
It's a long time.
They are rolling right now. Time now for our players of the game. The players of the game are brought to you by SIU Carbondale. And for Kenwood, we're going to go with Alex Alston. 18 points and 4 rebounds. But really, out of anything, it was probably the couple of three-pointers that he was able to make that were really key for Kenwood staying in the game throughout most of that second half. And then, as Mayor Johnson mentioned, Carlos Harris, 20 points, 7 rebounds, did it all tonight. Best player on the floor, and he's been that way most of the year for Curie on a team that has a lot of fine players. Our players of the game are brought to you by SIU Carbondale.
Hey, can I give an honorable mention to the freshman, though?
Yes.
Devin Cleveland. Boy, it was really fun to watch him.
Mayor, you can do whatever you want with us. You don't have to ask.
Thanks,
but
Jim.
very
Thanks,
polite
Jim.
of you.
I know you had to go give out the awards. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you.
Our next game coming up on the U is going to be on Monday night, February 26th, 7 o'clock in the evening, IHSA Girls Super Sectional. 2 teams will square off for a trip downstate. And then, of course, the week after that, we'll have a couple of boys sectional matchups for you. And don't forget, we have all the state playoff games, boys and girls, coming up right here on CW 26 and the U. So for Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's going to take part in handing out the awards now, for my partner Kenny McReynolds, who rightfully so is now in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame for the IHSA. I'm Jim Blaney. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to the Curie Condors. They win the CPS Boys Championship 65-59 over the Kenwood Broncos. Thanks for joining us on the Game of the Week.